If you want to file your federal and state tax return completely for free in 2023, but you also want a pretty good user interface, you'll definitely want to check out Cash App Taxes. This is formerly known as Credit Karma Taxes. We will be doing a complete walkthrough and review in this video. Hey guys, it's Justine with the College Investor Investing and Personal Finance for Millennials. Today we are talking about Cash App Taxes, and while the user interface is actually pretty similar to what it started out with in Credit Karma, there are some key features and upgrades that you'll want to take note of for this year. But first off, we have to answer the question, is Cash App Taxes truly and really free? So yes, it actually is free to file your taxes. However, there are two instances in which you would have to use a completely different tax software. One, if you worked in multiple states and you had to file multiple state returns, Cash App Taxes does not support that. The second way is if you have earned any foreign income. If you've earned foreign income or you've worked in multiple states, then Cash App Taxes is not the right software for you to use because they don't support those different scenarios. You're going to have to look elsewhere to things like maybe TaxSlayer if you're wanting a bargain tax software, or maybe looking at something like H&R Block or TurboTax. So what's new in 2023 for Cash App Taxes? I think the biggest feature, well, there's two big features that I definitely want to point out. The first one is you can do uploads and imports of your W-2. This is an amazing feature. If you do not like manually entering in your information, this is going to save you some time by uploading the W-2. Other forms like 1099 INTs, 1099 divs, you're going to have to manually enter in that information, but I think the big perk here is the W-2 info, and I'll take whatever I can get. Keep in mind, this is a free tax software, so the fact that they are adding this in is like amazing. Now, the second thing is, if you end up getting a refund on your tax return and you use your Cash App account in order to receive that refund, you could receive the refund up to 6 days in advance versus doing some sort of direct deposit with the IRS or getting a check from the IRS in the mail. Linking it up with your Cash App account is actually going to get you that refund a little bit faster. So I think this is a great opportunity for you to take advantage of if you already have the Cash App and you want to sync that up. And another new feature, actually a feature that they did away with, is you actually used to have to scan a QR code. Last year you had to scan a QR code in order to actually access the tax software on your desktop, and that has gone away. However, logging into Cash App Taxes, you are going to need your phone first. You're going to have to download the app and then get to the tax return feature, and then use that with some two-factor authentication in order to get to the tax software on your laptop or desktop. Obviously, filing your taxes is going to go a lot more smoothly, and it's just an easier experience if you do it from a laptop or a desktop versus your phone, but you will need your phone in order to access this. In fact, let's go ahead and hop into the tax software and I'll show you what it looks like on the inside. All right, so this is what it looks like on the inside. What's really different about the Cash App interface that I haven't seen in any other tax software that I've reviewed is that they have this vertical menu down through the middle of your actual dashboard. Other tax software actually does this whole like left-hand menu, and it's got a bunch of menu options up at the top, and the format is very, very similar across multiple tax softwares. So the fact that Cash App Taxes like completely flipped the switch on this, I absolutely love how clean and tidy this looks. As somebody who files their taxes online, you want things to be simple. You want things to just line up and you know exactly where to start. So speaking of where to start, we actually are going to start with your basic info, which you can click, edit, and review. Now, I've already actually gone through a couple of these items just to play around with it before I showed you, but you're gonna see these grayed out edit review buttons as has sections that you've already visited. New sections that you haven't visited at all will have this green start button. So when you log in for the first time, your dashboard is going to most likely have all of these already greened out to show you this is where you need to start. Okay, so basic information is just going to show you your name, your social, your address, any dependents that you might have, and then you can always click back to tax home. Now let me go ahead and show you this W-2 information. Now you can actually click in and add a W-2 and say who it belongs to, either you or a spouse. Let's just type in some dummy information here. And then here's where you can upload your W-2, which is amazing. So you can go ahead and manually enter in that information, or you can click upload W-2. You can drag and drop, or you can select it from your desktop and add it in. Now what you'll want to do is you'll just want to make sure that that information got transferred correctly into Cash App Taxes just by doing a quick quality control, making sure all the numbers correctly match up. But I think this is an awesome feature, considering that this is a completely free tool for us to use. I think this is a great time saver. All right, so as we're going through our tax return, you're going to see that we are on the income section. If we need to go down to expenses, we can quickly jump down to the expense section and then we're good to go. So let me go back up to income here, and then I'll show you if you are self-employed or you had a side hustle and you need to report any 1099s or Schedule Cs, you can click through and start that section right here. All the self-employed stuff is actually going to be in a separate window that's going to give you the main items that you would need in order to fill out any of your self-employed expenses or income. All right, let's go back out to W-2, self-employed. Another popular form that you might have is a 1099 INT or a 1099 div form. Any interest that you earned throughout the year, whether it be from a bank or from any investments, you're going to go ahead and report that on whatever tax forms that you may have received. So I went ahead and included a 1099 INT form, and you can see I've already filled this out. So I included the payer name and then the interest amount earned, and I just grabbed that from the form, right? And this is all just dummy information, but as I'm going through, you can see I'm just copying what's on that tax form and manually entering it into Cash App Taxes. You also see these little green eye buttons, and it'll show you exactly what they mean. Enter the payer's TIN shown on form 1099 INT. So that's going to show you exactly, okay, what does this mean? Click the I button and it'll give you further explanation. Also, another thing that Cash App Taxes that's a little bit different is you can choose to have your entire form in a single page view, such as this, or you can click on multi-page view, and then it's going to break down that form into multiple screens. So that way you're kind of going through, okay, boxes 1 through 5, I'm looking at the 1099 INT, got that entered, I'm going to click continue. Boxes 6 and 7, this is only what I'm looking at. So it breaks it down into manageable chunks for you. Otherwise you can do a single page view. I kind of like doing single page view myself because it is one form, so I just like scrolling down, but the choice is up to you, which I like that Cash App Taxes does. All right, let's back out of this. If you had multiple INT forms such as this, then you can always add a new interest form right here. So it makes it really simple. We'll go back to tax home. I guess one con to the way Cash App Taxes is set up is that once you get into a section, you really got to click a lot of times to get back to your tax home screen. All right, next, if you had a health savings account and you were contributing to that over the years, you can start a 1099 SA form right here, which would be mailed to you or emailed to you, and then just click start. I find that for most basic tax filing situations where you may have an INT form, you may have an HSA form. It's really simple how they've put everything together. I love the I buttons to kind of show you exactly what it is. And when you click on these pop-up windows, it doesn't have a lot of tax jargon to throw you off or for you to read through. It's not wordy. It's just, hey, if you received HSA distributions but you did not receive a 1099 SA form, contact your bank. They're the ones that are going to have that. Okay, cool. Now let's go ahead and add that form in. Then you can see exactly what is needed, and you can get that information from your particular form that we're working on. So let's back out of this, back to Tax Home. All right, now we're gonna head down to deductions and credits. So if you had any dependent care costs, you can go ahead and claim that through family credits. If you made any quarterly tax payments, you can go ahead and add that there as well. So this is really like a no bells and whistles. I also would think that if you have a simple tax filing situation, this is going to be great for you. If you have a little bit more and you're kind of unclear as to what needs to go where, or you have questions about maybe making the most out of your deductions, I would think that you would want the assistance of like a tax expert. You're not really going to get that with this Cash App Taxes. This is a free software, so they're not going to have a live person to handhold with you throughout this process. You'd be better off paying for that type of support with something like H&R Block, who is going to give you that expertise with a live person, but you're also going to be paying a lot more for that. As you're inputting information into the tax software, they are going to give you a little review summary of any type of estimated refund or the amount that you might owe up at the top. You can also click review summary and then see exactly how they've calculated this. You can see what income I've reported, the types of credits and withholdings, the taxes that I may have already paid, and all that subtracted out to see this anticipated federal refund of $5,700, which is a really big refund. I actually would like to get that refund amount to zero or as little as possible, meaning that I didn't overpay in taxes throughout the year. So if we exit out of that, once you get through those expenses, then you can click on Start Your State Taxes. Now, as we're rolling out the state tax returns, that's going to be reflective in the Cash App Tax software. So not all of the state returns are live yet. Most of them will be ready to go by mid-February. So if you're trying to get a jump start on your tax return, just know that you can always put in as much information as possible, then go back in. This information will be saved. Then you can go back in and input whatever state tax return information that you might need in order to file that return as well. Okay, so that's a look inside of the tax software. Pretty easy to use, no bells and whistles. Did I mention it's 100% free? Plus, you have that opportunity to get a refund up to 6 days early if you link that with your Cash App account. So all in all, Cash App Taxes makes this one of our best top free tax filing software available to you in 2023. You really can't go wrong with how simple the functionality is, the fact that it's free, and that they added the W-2 upload, automatic upload in for you as well. If you want to check out, if you're not convinced, if you want to check out more tax software available to you to file your tax return and make the best decision for your tax filing situation, we have complete walkthrough and reviews of all the latest tax software available at thecollegeinvestor.com. Like this one if you thought it was helpful, and we'll catch you in the next video.